Hi guys! So one thing I know is that starting a new medication can be really scary because medications can have crazy side effects. I've experienced some wild things from medications that were meant to help and instead made me pretty unwell. But having said that, medications can also be the most amazing thing because they can do what they're intended to do, but in rare cases you might find that you'll get an extra bonus like I did. So probably the biggest thing that happened to me was that I started this medication called propranolol. I was put on it for POTS, which is
postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome,
which means tachycardia when standing or from postural changes. And it was amazing for that, but also this is the one that made my migraines go away. So I'll have to explain that because it wasn't quite as simple as having these extreme severe migraines and then not. So before I started the medication, I had migraines with aura, and my aura was that I would completely lose my vision, then the intense head pain would start, and that's the migraine itself, and then I would also throw up from the pain. So my migraines were really quite severe because my vision was gone, I was throwing up, I had this severe head pain. Whereas once I started propranolol, I no longer have those episodes anymore. What I will have instead is episodes where my vision will be altered. It won't be completely gone anywhere, but I can just tell my vision seems weird, and it's hard to pinpoint what's different about it, as in different from normal. Like I can tell my vision looks weird, but I can't pinpoint what it is. And there is little to no head pain. So before it would be the most intense head pain in the world, whereas now a lot of the time I don't think there even is any head pain. The only reason I know that I would be having a migraine is because my vision looks funny, and I will still feel sick, but I won't get to the point of being sick because there's not enough pain to make me sick anymore. So that's the difference. And so when people ask me if I have migraines, I find it a difficult one to answer these days because they're so atypical now. They've sort of taken away the majority of my migraine symptoms, and so I do think of it as being almost like a migraine cure for me because I just don't have those intense episodes anymore. So again, that medication is called propranolol, and if someone had said to me, there's a medication that can take all of your migraine pain away, it can make you not lose your vision as much, and it can stop you vomiting in a migraine episode, do you want to take it? I would absolutely hop on board to this, even if it didn't help my POTS symptoms, even if it was just to do that for my migraines, I would still want to be on it. And also, this is actually on the NHS website, which means it is a recognised thing, a recognised migraine preventative. I think that's the wording they use, is that it's used to prevent migraines rather than treating them, which makes sense because you take this every day. It's not like you just take it in a migraine episode, you take it every day and it builds up in your body, and I don't know why, but for whatever reason it can prevent you having migraines, or at least prevent them from being so severe. The reason I wanted to talk about this medication first is that because it's recognised on the NHS website, this means you can talk to your doctors about it and they will probably be happy to prescribe this for you just for migraines. So you don't have to take it for POTS and then accidentally cure your migraines like I did. You can talk to your doctor about this if migraine is your only symptom and you want to try this as a preventative. The only thing to watch out for is that it lowers your heart rate and blood pressure. So if you struggle with low heart rate and low blood pressure, it might not work out for you. But your doctor should check those things before prescribing it. And in most cases, people don't have any issues with this. And the next medication I want to talk about is promethazine, or you may know it as Phenergan. I've run out, so I'm just holding this up so that you've got something to look at, because I've got a dose in there. So I was prescribed this for nausea and vomiting at night. So that's what I was prescribed it for, but what did it accidentally help? So it took me a while to notice this one, but when I went to university, I figured it out because everyone around me was getting really unwell with freshers' flu, which is a flu that you get at university because you've got people from so many different areas or countries coming together, and it makes people sick with colds and flus. So everyone around me was getting sick with that, and I didn't get it. And then in the winter, everybody got sick with the common cold, and I didn't get it. And me and my friends were talking about it, and we were just saying it's so funny that my immune system seems to be so weak for other things, and obviously I'm so unwell from my illnesses, but I really do not seem to catch the common cold or any flu sort of things. And as we were discussing it, I realised that I actually hadn't had a cold in a couple of years, and then this continued throughout the rest of university, and at this point I now haven't had a cold for about 5 years. But I finally looked it up in, I think it was my first or second year of university, and found out that promethazine actually reduces common cold symptoms. So what was likely happening was that I was still contracting these colds, but it was reducing my symptoms so much that I didn't notice it. I did have times where I would sneeze occasionally, or I would have a slightly sore throat, but I was not getting sick in the same way that everyone else was. You know, I wasn't really congested and needing tissues, I wasn't run down, I didn't have a fever, I didn't have any of that sort of thing. And even my throat, like, really wasn't bad. It was a very, very mild sore throat that I was getting, to the extent that I wouldn't count it as a cold because it was just so mild. So yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people don't know about promethazine, is that it can reduce cold symptoms. Having said that, the extent it does this does seem to vary from person to person, because I've spoken to some of my friends and said, oh yeah, I don't really get colds because I'm on this medication, and they've said that makes no sense because I'm on that medication and I get the worst colds. And so just because it works amazingly for me at reducing my cold symptoms doesn't mean it will for everyone. And also, unlike propranolol, where you can talk to your doctors and probably get it prescribed if you need it, I don't think they would prescribe this one just to prevent colds for you, because I don't really know how to say it, but promethazine is quite a strong drug. It's actually a sedative, and so when you take it, yes, it prevents colds, but it also will knock you out and make you very fatigued, and they call it like a zombie state because it's really strong sedative type drug. And so you probably wouldn't want to be on this just to prevent colds, unless you were in a situation where you're severely affected by colds and where colds aren't a minor illness for you. I've just looked at my notes and I summed it up a lot better in my notes, so I'll just read that out. So I've written here, this med is a sedative and not advised for long-term use unless absolutely necessary. And you'll see that it does say that in the leaflet. If you get this medication, it does say that it's not advised for long-term use, and so that's why a doctor probably wouldn't be happy to prescribe this just to prevent colds in most cases. But if you do happen to be prescribed this for something else, then you can enjoy the fact that it might reduce your cold symptoms. The next one I'm going to talk about is my trusty Bucker stem. So this is actually the packaging that it comes in if you buy it over the counter, and then I just wanted to show you what the other one looks like. So this is the prescription, which is a packet of 50. This is the over the counter, which is a packet of 8, but they are actually the same medication. So I was prescribed this again for nausea and vomiting, and the thing that it accidentally helped with was travel sickness. But I do have to say, when I say it's helped my travel sickness, it's helped a very small amount. Like, I'm still extremely travel sick, and so while it has helped a bit, it's not been a travel sickness cure by any means. Like, it's so far from doing that. It just has happened to make my travel sickness slightly better, and I know it can do that for some people. I just had to take a break and come back because I wasn't feeling well, so I can't remember where I left off exactly, but I know I was talking about this being used for travel sickness. So I would recommend using this in conjunction with another travel sickness tablet, but I don't think it would be overly helpful on its own. One thing I did want to discuss though, which is quite interesting and could be the reason that this is helpful for that, is that it says here, prochlorperazine is used to treat migraines and dizziness due to ear problems and other causes. Now, for a lot of people, travel sickness is caused by a vestibular issue, which is to do with, it's all to do with how your eyes perceive the motion around you. And so when you're in a car and that image that's coming into your eyes doesn't match up with the balance thing detected in your ear, that's what will make you travel sick in a lot of cases. And because this medication, this prochlorperazine, is used to treat nausea and dizziness associated with ear problems, I'm wondering if that's why it's effective. Sorry, I don't have all the words. Brain fog is not being kind to me. And so I'm actually going to wrap this one up here. I may do a part 2 when I'm feeling less brain foggy, but I hope you found this interesting, even though I only shared a few things. So thank you so much for watching. Bye!